Hi everyone. I wanted to do a quick video to review with you what you need to do for the evidence-based, oh, there we go, for the evidence-based practice brief and also the policy assignment that's coming up. And also just to say thank you for all the support and kind words that I've received from so many of you through the last 3 weeks as things were going on in my life. So, and I apologize, I'm behind in getting things up to Moodle as quickly as they normally would have been. So I will have stuff up for next week, probably later in the day tomorrow. All right, so the evidence-based practice brief. What that is, my point in doing that is that many times in your career as a master's practitioner, you are going to be asked to educate others about a program that you may run, about a practice that you use. And so this is a chance to allow you to develop some of those creativity skills. Some of you may already know how to create brochure type documents. In this case, I'm calling it a brief or a fact sheet. Others may never have done anything like this. So it's a chance to review with you some of the ways that you can create this. So first and foremost, you can use either Word or a word processing like program, or you can use Publisher if you're so inclined. There is a template within Word, so if you've never used that, please just reach out to me that when you're starting this process to it will be much less stressful on you if I can just show you where the templates are and how to start the process in Word. The important thing is that when you save it, that you save it as a PDF. You'll see in some of my examples, some are in Word and some are in PDF. Those of you using a Mac may have trouble opening some of the Word documents, or the formatting may get a little wonky. So if you save it as a PDF, everybody will be able to open each other's. When you post this, I will do it in such a way that you'll be able to see each other's. So I really encourage you to take a look, because across your class, there will be 19 or 20 different examples of evidence-based practices, because I try to have it not duplicates, in each section of the course. And just a reminder, I am doing 2 sections of this course, so I think there are 39 of you all together. I think one person has dropped it, which brought us down to 39. Okay, so I've given you a bunch of websites that are search sites for databases for evidence-based practice briefs. So feel free to look there. You can also Google search if you have a particular topic that you want, or you can call and talk it through with me, and I can help you identify an evidence-based practice in an area that you may be interested in. As you know, I take the topic of human sexuality very broadly, so I'm open to whatever your area of interest is. I'm hoping, I will tell you that I won't allow anyone just to pick something like CBT, because I think that's been the gold standard. It's been around for 30 years plus. We've evolved it. There are other CBT evolutions that are out there, and if you pick one of those, that would be fine. But just standard CBT, I would say, not something to pick for this. Look at what some of the new things, that there are thousands now of evidence-based practices out there. All right, so you identify what it is you want to do. You let me know, because I'm making a list of what everybody plans to do. If it's not one I'm familiar with off the top of my head, I might need to look it up just to make sure it is something that's evidence-based. And then I'll shoot you a text back, or we can talk about it when you schedule your mid-semester check-in. Once you've identified it, then you just create the fact sheet. I strongly encourage you to go beyond the information that's available just on the databases. You could do the fact sheet just with that information. There's enough there, but go beyond it. Look for reviews on this. Look for where it's being used. Look for what's available to practitioners. Many of these evidence-based practices have their own website. See if that's available. In terms of citations, just you'll notice on the examples, just a little box on the bottom, what websites you visited is fine. Also, though, very important, please put your name on your evidence-based fact sheet. I will take off points if you don't put your name on it. Okay, so you're going to create this fact sheet. You're going to upload it. That's it. That's what you're going to do for this assignment. The second part of this is what I called evidence-based practice in the real world. Once I know what your list is, my list is of what everybody's doing, I'm going to match you up with a partner. And the very last week of the semester, you're going to have a phone conversation with that partner where you have, I think, basically 2 or 3 questions that you're going to have to prep for that phone conversation. The first is, where is this evidence-based practice being utilized? Is it being implemented in Pennsylvania or New Jersey or New York, wherever you're living, anywhere in your vicinity, so that you can share with each other, that information. The second is information on what does it cost to get trained in this? What's the process to get trained, so that you can share that with each other. And then just a conversation about evidence-based practice in general. What did you learn through this assignment and through, whatever you've done thus far in your Marywood curriculum or in your practice about the use of evidence-based. So it's a phone call. I'm thinking, 30-minute phone call. Once you do that, you'll have a summary paper to do. It's probably 2 to 3 pages. I know everybody's all worried about how long it needs to be, but you do one summary, and it's just a summary of your conversation. What were the answers? What kind of information did you share about each other's evidence-based practice? And you will upload one summary. Both people will upload the same summary, and just make sure you have both names on it. So I may match people across the 2 sections of the course, because I try to match people with I don't want to match you with somebody you're sitting in class with all the time. This is a chance to get to know somebody else in, maybe one of the other campuses, or maybe who's in a different cohort, but also to match up around areas of interest, so that if 2 people pick evidence-based practices that are in use with child sexual assault survivors, trauma survivers, I might match you together so that you learn 2 different practices that can be used with a similar population. So I do that as much as possible. It's not a perfect matching. Sometimes I just match 2 people together that I think would benefit from having a conversation with each other. That you either work in similar areas, or I know you have some similar interests, or I just think you would be 2 cool people to know each other. So I will provide you with the phone numbers and emails for each other, and you'll have a due date on when that's due. So that's really a summary of what the evidence-based practice assignment is. If you have any questions at all through the process, please reach out to me. I think that as people have been doing the current events assignment and who reached out to me, and I was able to kind of talk through my logic in the assignment, they felt more comfortable with what the expectation and the purpose of even the current event assignment was. The other assignment that we have is a policy assignment, and I will be posting, the questions that go with that, but it's a 2-part assignment, so please make sure you do both parts. The first is looking for legislation that has been passed in the last couple years, 5 years. I'm not locked into any number. Some people have picked legislation that is older but has had a reauthorization in the last couple years. That's fine. So you review kind of the history of the legislation, who introduced it. I ask about, was there a bias or kind of a political movement with this legislation, and then, just some other questions. And then the second part of that assignment is for you to follow a currently proposed bill, either at the state or federal level. And I give you the federal website to track things, but then also you can look up your own state website for how to track bills at the state level. There is so much happening right now at the state and federal level related to human sexuality that there is, I bet we could almost have 40 different pieces of legislation that have been introduced that you all could be following. So if you have any questions on that assignment as you're doing it, please again reach out to me and let me know. And I will post, again, timelines for what's due next week and the week after. I'll try and get things up a little bit more quickly so that you're on target with everything. So hopefully that helps. If you've not yet scheduled your semester check-in call with me, please do so. If you haven't picked your memoir, please do so. If you haven't begun to think about your evidence-based practice, please do so in the next couple days. The quiz will open. I'm actually going to open it on Thursday because I have a student one of your classmates is going out of town over the weekend, so I need to open it a little earlier. So it will be open on Thursday afternoon. I'll send out an email when it opens, and it will close Tuesday night at 11:59. Just a reminder, this is not an open book quiz. Marywood is very serious about the integrity of an online course. And also, this is your chance to practice stuff in a format like the licensure exam. So sit down, do the 11 questions. I'll give you an extra one. You're timed in 20 minutes. It's multiple choice. It's getting you thinking like you will need to think for the licensure exam. All right, if there's any questions about that, please let me know. All right, have a great night, and I'll talk to many of you over the next several days.